Where will it land? That's the question states along the Gulf Coast are asking as the storm develops into the very first hurricane of this season.
And for decades, doctors have warned Americans not to smoke, and now those doctors are pushing even harder for the armed forces to do the same. Brightside at 4:30 starts now.
Well, good morning, and thanks so much for waking up with us here on Brightside on this Thursday morning. I'm Rob Finnerty.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. We're going to get you in the know in just a minute, but right now all eyes are on our tropics right now. The weather, the Gulf of Mexico, and thankfully it's not headed here.
Yeah, you're not heading here, and really very fringe impacts for us guys. It looks like it's going to be one of those situations where you look out the window and if you didn't know there was a storm out there, you obviously
have no idea.
You have no idea that this was going on, which is good for us, but the system is looking more and more concerning for those along the central coast. It has not developed into a tropical depression yet, still what we're calling a potential tropical cyclone, but that's just allowing the National Weather Service and the National Hurricane Center to coordinate to be able to issue warnings and watches in advance of this developing system. So sustained winds now 30 miles per hour at best. Hurricane hunters have been having a hard time finding any sizable amounts of wind speed out there. Starting to see a little bit more thunderstorm activity at the center of the storm. The storm has actually been sheared apart. Some mid-level winds have been pushing a lot of the thunderstorms away from the center of the storm. Storms really don't begin to strengthen until that thunderstorm activity is a little more concentrated around the center of that circulation. So that's something that we expect to see today. We very well will see our tropical depression later this morning, and then a tropical storm expected later this afternoon. So here's the latest forecast track from the Hurricane Center. This is the 2 o'clock advisory, by the way. The 5 o'clock advisory will be updated here momentarily, so we'll get a new track, and we'll also get the latest specs on where the system is currently located. But it is forecast to become a Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall Friday into Saturday morning. We're on the eastern fringe of this system, getting a couple of spotty showers along the coast. We'll take a look at our forecast and how we see those impacts play out in just a few minutes.
All right, we want to make the most of the time that you have with us this morning, even if it's just a few minutes.
So let's get you in the know, and let's do it right now. This morning, people from Florida all the way to Texas, as Grant was just mentioning, are bracing for what's expected to become the very first hurricane of the 2019 storm season.
Tropical storm and hurricane watches now in place in states along the Gulf of Mexico. The storm already flooding parts of New Orleans this morning. Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, nice and dry at the moment, as you can see here, a live look. This is an Earth Cam shot of the quarter right now.
The storm is expected to develop into Hurricane Barry, the first of the 2019 season. On Wednesday, New Orleans got a possible preview of what's to come, an extended downpour that dumped 8 inches of rain in the city in just over 3 hours. Unbelievable stuff. The storm is coming at a time when the Mississippi River is flowing at twice its normal level. The Army Corps of Engineers is predicting that water will spill over many of the levees in low-lying areas across Louisiana. Mandatory evacuation orders were being posted as early as yesterday afternoon in Louisiana's coastal parishes.
The entire coastal area of Louisiana is at play.
Every time it rains hard or we get a south wind, you're going to flood.
New Orleans officials say they're as prepared as they can be right now. 118 of the city's 120 drainage pumps currently operational and ready to be worked hard if needed. The earliest hurricane to make landfall on the U.S. mainland was Alma on June 9th, 1966. Tampa Bay pretty lucky to not be affected much by this storm, but if you want to keep a closer eye on the tropics, just download our free 10 News app.
Well, new video this morning from a 10 News alert that we sent to your phones last night. State troopers say a Pasco County deputy hit and killed a woman who was crossing the street. It happened in Port Richey on US 19 North near Johnson Road. The crash closed that road for several hours. And today, a case that captured the nation's attention will be back in a courtroom, the Curtis Reeves case. He's the retired police captain who claimed self-defense under the Stand Your Ground law after he shot a man inside a Wesley Chapel movie theater in 2014. Reeves has been free on $150,000 bail. Since then, the case has been in legal limbo after the state shifted the burden of proof from the defense to the prosecution, not to mention the presiding judge rejecting Reeves' argument in 2017. Today's hearing will focus on bail conditions. We, of course, will be in that courtroom. When that gets started, we'll let you know what happens.
Meanwhile, in Hillsborough County, the car rental company Turo will defend its request to use the Tampa International Airport. According to the Tampa Bay Times, Hillsborough Aviation Authority filed a lawsuit against Turo, claiming that the company isn't following the same rules as the other companies that do business there. Well, the suit argues Turo doesn't pay the airport for any of the fees required to do business. The peer-to-peer car rental company facing similar lawsuits at other major airports. Today's federal hearing begins at 9:30 in Tampa.
All right, take a look at your screens here. In Kentucky, the fire that burned down a Jim Beam warehouse and caused bourbon to leak into the Kentucky River was caused by lightning. Kentucky's environmental agency just confirmed that the July 2nd fire destroyed 45,000 barrels of good old bourbon.
A travesty.
Yes, it is an absolute tragedy. Should have led our news. Today, the family of the toddler that fell to her death from a cruise ship in Puerto Rico is expected to finally fly home. Chloe Wygant's family is trying to get Chloe's body on the same flight as the family. Family attorney Michael Winkleman says the family wants to get home as soon as possible so they can grieve together. The 18-month-old girl fell from a window that was left open in a children's play area.
The Surgeon General wants our service members to put out their cigarettes. In an unprecedented move this week, the Surgeons General of the Air Force, Army, and Navy joined with the U.S. Surgeon General, calling on our service members who smoke to quit. Smoking has been a fixture of military culture for decades, and for a long time, there was a higher rate of smoking in the service than in the general population. The proof is right here in our own backyard at Bay Pines VA Hospital, where veterans continue to look for help to quit long after their service ends.
I've heard a lot of veterans come in and they have stories about their use of tobacco products in the military and that it was just a way of life. And now afterwards, as veterans, in a society that is very much wanting to be tobacco free, it's much harder and complicated to achieve.
Now, there are a lot of preventable health issues that come along with smoking, costing the Department of Defense billions a year in health care. The good news is that number of smokers in the service has fallen by nearly half since 2011. We have resources available to military members and veterans looking to quit, posted right now on WTSP.com.
That's interesting. You know, it's also depicted as cool in military movies. I mean, think about like Forrest Gump, for example. Everybody's smoking. Certainly an issue. An appeals court just ruled that the way Florida has been regulating the medical marijuana industry is unconstitutional. The ruling also says Florida's operational requirements violate the voter-approved constitutional amendment that was legalized in 2016. And if the ruling is not appealed, the state will be forced to remove many of those requirements. We'll keep an eye on that. FDOT will not renew the contract with the SunPass vendor Conduent, the company behind the toll disaster that caused more than a year of problems. The Transportation Secretary says Florida will now rebid the second half of Conduit's 14-year agreement.
Well, Florida's largest anime convention kicks off today for the next 4 days. Thousands of people will flood the Tampa Convention Center to celebrate the mythical but colorful world of anime. To be clear, we've talked about conventions like these before, but today we're going beyond the headline and diving deep into MetroCon. Like all things, MetroCon is the brainchild of the founders of AnimeMetro.com. The convention allowed its 5,000 members to take their love for the Japanese art from the computer screen to reality. MetroCon got its start in 2003 at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Tampa. Within 2 years, MetroCon outgrew the hotel, and it had to be moved to the Tampa Convention Center. Not only that, it was deemed the largest anime convention in Florida. By 2007, it reached 10,000 fans. Then in 2014, MetroCon expanded into a 4-day event. So what happens at MetroCon? Some of the highlights include the anime human chess match, a lip sync battle, a dance contest, a fantasy masquerade, live fire shows, and the Metro Star Party. Now, it wouldn't be a convention without those stars. This year, David Matranga, you might know his voice from Bertold Hoover in Attack on Titan, or Monica Rial, who's best known for voicing Bulma in the Dragon Ball franchise. Yes, folks, she will be there. Quite the look there.
I want to go to this. I'm so behind this. I love this.
You gotta get your costume ready.
I gotta get. Maybe I'll just go as a news
They
anchor.
planned for. I worked with a girl who was very into this and
Yeah?
planned for years for
still
these
friends, or?
costumes. Well, it's been a little while since
Yeah.
I've seen her,
Give
but
her
I
a
do
call.
like to see her photos. I mean, she's artistic
I'd
with
like
these
to see her
costumes.
photos too, yeah.
All right, this year's theme is Virtue versus Vice, which is a fixture in anime and video games. The temptation for the hero to give in to their desires or to be virtuous.
That's a lot of theme right there.
That's a lot of theme.
Gee,
Packed
normally
in
it's like
at 4:39 in the morning.
One word theme. You know? All right, when we come back, Manny Pacquiao has fought boxers from all over the world. This month, he'll fight somebody from Tampa Bay. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Brightside. I'm Rob Finnerty.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. Let's talk about what's happening today in Tampa Bay. The final field test of Lakeland's new intelligent rail bypass system will happen today. That test begins at 9 and it'll end at 3. This means there will be intermittent stops on Florida Avenue between Main Street and Pine Street, so plan accordingly.
All right, check this out. This is pretty darn cool. The Seminole Hard Rock Casino and Hotel is adding a little bit more glitz and glam. The hotel is unveiling Elvis Presley's iconic 24-karat gold leaf grand piano. Yes, the king of rock and roll's piano is going to be at the entrance of the new hotel, which is undergoing a $700 million renovation and expansion project right now. The piano will be unveiled at 11:15. Pretty cool.
Wonder how much of the budget that piano
I know.
is.
$700 million, $600 million of which went to Elvis Presley's
Gold piano.
But we'll be there. We'll have pictures of that on our website and Facebook page. We want to send it over to Grant right now. We are keeping a close eye on that tropical storm. That could become the first hurricane of the 2019 season.
Not even a tropical storm yet, though, Rob. Still a potential tropical cyclone.
Okay.
It'll become a tropical depression probably later on this morning, and then a forecast to become a tropical storm later on tonight. But yes, eventually forecast to become a hurricane as well tomorrow. Here's what we've got in downtown Tampa. All is relatively calm. 80 degrees right now in Tampa. Dew point is 75, so it's tropical air mass. And if you didn't know there was this developing tropical system out in the Gulf of Mexico, you think it was just a normal July morning, and it will be that way, at least all things considered. A little breezy along the coast, though, and that's what we were expecting. A slightly breezier conditions right along the water. 14-mile-per-hour winds now in St. Petersburg. You get east of I-75, and it is just a calm morning for the most part. 6-mile-per-hour wind right now in Lakeland. And let me show you this. It's not that we're seeing direct impacts. It's indirect impacts from the system. Here's that developing low-pressure system, and that's generating this counterclockwise flow all around the Gulf of Mexico. So that southerly flow is what we're seeing this morning. That's driving some of those showers right along the coast, just a spotty shower here or there. So you're in and out of the rain along the beaches this morning. Otherwise, actually, you've got clear skies over the central part of the state. But because of that onshore flow coming in from the south, a little bit breezier at times, there is going to continue to be this rip current risk through the day tomorrow. So originally it was through today. We've extended that concern for rip currents along our beaches as we head through tomorrow as well. But it looks like things improve for the weekend. So if you got a beach plan for the weekend, I think we're going to be okay. This area of low pressure, though, that stays well west of us. We'll see those coastal showers this morning. And then as we go into the afternoon, scattered showers and storms spread across the entire area. It's a 60% chance of rain today, pockets of heavy rain. It's nothing severe. Again, indirect impacts, but because there is so much moisture in the atmosphere, any of the showers or storms that develop will produce locally heavy rainfall, maybe some localized flooding, but overall very typical type of shower activity for what you'd expect this time of the year. Just the chance is a little bit higher because of this system. We'll see mainly dry conditions tonight into tomorrow morning, maybe a coastal shower, and then through the day as we tap into that afternoon heat, those scattered showers and storms will begin to develop once again. Here's the latest with potential tropical cyclone number 2. It's number 2 because this is the second system that we are tracking so far this year, not because there are 2 out there. This is just the second system we've seen so far this year. So it's meandering. It's beginning to move again to the west at 5 miles per hour. Some gradual strengthening is expected today. Out ahead of this system, already a tropical storm watch and hurricane watch in effect for Alabama, Mississippi, and of course Louisiana as well. Most of the Louisiana coast now underneath that hurricane watch. Storm surge watch in effect as well for them. 3 to 6 feet of storm surge expected. Here's the latest track, still waiting on the 5 o'clock advisory to come down. Actually, this is the 5 o'clock advisory. This just came down while we were doing this segment here. So this is the latest track. I'm going to get in and fine tune and pick through this and see what the latest updates are, guys. We'll have that coming up at 5 o'clock. Quick look at the 7-day forecast, and we'll dive into more details with this, but your weekend, guys, looking pretty good.
All right, thanks, Grant. A Tampa Bay native less than 2 weeks away from fighting in one of the biggest fights of the year in the world of boxing.
Yeah, South Street St. Pete was close to the center of the boxing universe as Clearwater's own Keith Thurman hosted our own Phil Buck and other members of the media for an open workout ahead of next weekend's big fight. Check it out.
Florida, summertime, is good training weather.
On any other day, the St. Pete Boxing Club would be empty aside from a few locals. But on Wednesday, the gym was packed with media, and all eyes were on WBA welterweight super champion Keith Thurman as he gets ready to take on 8-division world champ Manny Pacquiao.
You know, Tampa Bay has always been on the map, and now you got your boy right here, Keith one-time Thurman, fighting one of the most exciting fights of the year against a true legend in the game.
Keith is the big brother in the gym. He used to pick me up and personally train me himself.
For other local fighters, watching their training partner get ready for the world stage gives them a sense of pride. Pride in their friend, pride in their gym, pride in their city.
Even when he goes running, I went running with him. And it's on the trails. People know Keith Thurman, Keith, just know, yelling out his name, it's crazy. It's like a Rocky thing, you know, when Rocky's running, and everybody say, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky.
We chill together and laugh together, and then see him in a big fight. It's awesome, man. It's amazing.
I'm gonna do my best not only to make my city proud, not only to make my mother proud, my father proud, but like Tampa Bay Lightning, they might have the Lightning, but one time got the Thunder.
All right, he's bringing the thunder.
I like that. A little Muhammad Ali, a little poetry there.
Yeah.
The fight is scheduled for next Saturday, July 20th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. How about that? Thurman currently holds the WBA welterweight super champion title. He's undefeated, 29-0 with 22 knockouts. This guy's good. He's going against one of the most recognizable names in boxing in Manny Pacquiao. Good luck. Go get him, Keith.
Pacquiao is such a good name for boxing.
I mean, it's
too.
like, and he's a legend.
Packs
So
the punch.
this is big.
All right, goat cheese, Porky's Delight, chocolate habanero, they all sound like savory dishes, right?
Yes.
But that's not the case for Seminole Heights Ice Cream Shop.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Happy Thursday morning, getting closer to the weekend. We'll check in with Grant in just a minute. But as we head into the weekend, if you're craving ice cream, which I'm sure you are, I'm always craving ice cream. This hour of the day, it's coffee ice cream, but you're tired of those typical flavors, Caitlin. You know what I'm saying?
I put anything in coffee though, right? Any kind of ice
You
cream?
can, honestly. Well, we've
Not
got a
anything,
place.
any kind of ice cream.
Any kind of ice cream in the, yeah, but coffee's a good flavor in the morning because it has caffeine. We found a place you're gonna love.
Yes, imagine Chardonnay, caramel ice cream, vanilla bacon, or cinnamon roll ice cream. Vanilla bacon almost sounds like a fair food.
Like a nice buttery.
Yeah, why not? In this week's Food for Thought, 10 News foodie Candace Aviles explores the Revolution Ice Cream Company in Seminole Heights.
You know you're at the right spot when it's busy the minute it opens.
Hi, I'm Bill Workman, and welcome to the Revolution Ice Cream Company.
Their ice cream six-pack is Instagram famous.
What you're looking at here right now is our sampler. 6 samples of some of the crazy flavors that we make here at Revolution Ice Cream.
This isn't your typical ice cream joint. Bill makes flavors you could only dream of.
Goat cheese ice cream with habanero pepper and then a drizzle of raspberry. You've got our Porky's Delight, which is actually a bacon brittle ice cream. You've got our chocolate habanero, which is a chocolate with a mixture of habanero with a nice kick. You've got Grandma's Oreo, which is the best Oreo ice cream on the planet.
With more than 20 flavors to choose from, there's also the Drunken Brownie, which is a Chardonnay caramel ice cream.
We cook the wine down into a caramel, mix that as the base flavor, and then mix brownies into that one.
Inspired by anything and everything, like a blueberry muffin, the flavor in this ice cream pops.
We've got a lot of flavors that are really unique and just something that you can't get down at the grocery store.
There's also a café con leche with a chocolate truffle ribbon and salted caramel ribbon. As a chocolate lover, I tried the chocolate habanero ice cream. Now, Bill warned me it has a spicy kick, and he wasn't kidding. I may have started crying. Holy moly! But hey, it was worth it. The Rev really is a creative ice cream lover's dream.
Every time you try my ice cream and you love it, I feel the same way. I feel like I made something that's great that people just love.
It's finger licking good.
Cool. Fun fact for you, Bill taught himself how to make ice cream in his kitchen.
Over the years, the Revolution Ice Cream Company has grown into multiple locations, one in Seminole Heights and one in Brandon, and a food truck too. Lots of options.
Looks good, right?
Looks really, Chardonnay ice cream?
Yeah.
I'd get down with that.
I'll try that. I
Any
love
hour
trying
of the
new
day.
flavors of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I'm always about that. Guys, quick check on our morning out there. A couple of isolated showers passing across our coast this morning. Most of that will be along our beaches this morning, just an isolated shower or two. We will see more widespread showers and storms later on this afternoon. High temperatures will be up around 89, 60% chance for those scattered showers and storms today. Smaller rain chances as we head through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll see even smaller rain chances. So getting more into a typical summertime pattern without the influence of a developing tropical system out there in the Gulf of Mexico. But the 5 o'clock advisory just came down from the Hurricane Center. We will have the latest on that, any updates to pass along to you. But overall, minimal and indirect impacts for us here in Tampa Bay.
All right, keep it here. The news continues next at 5.